Who was Caiaphas? Caiaphas was a high priest of the Sanhedrin, the Jewish religious council, during the time of Jesus Christ. His full name was Joseph Caiaphas, and he is a key figure in the accounts of the Passion of Christ in the Gospels. Here is a summary of his life and role in the Bible. Number 1. Caiaphas in the Gospels. Caiaphas appears in the Gospels as Jesus' chief accuser, playing a pivotal role in his arrest and conviction. Here are the key points of his story. High priest. Caiaphas was high priest in the period 30 to 36 AD, during the rule of the Roman Emperor Tiberius, and under the administration of the Roman procurator Pontius Pilate. He was part of an influential priestly family, as his father-in-law, Annas, had also been high priest, John 18:13. The trial of Jesus. Caiaphas is best known for his role in the religious trial of Jesus Christ. According to the Gospel accounts, after Jesus was arrested by the temple guard, he was brought before Caiaphas, who called a meeting of the Sanhedrin, the Jewish council, to question Jesus. During this trial, Caiaphas tried to find evidence against Jesus to sentence him to death, and eventually accused him of blasphemy when Jesus claimed to be the Son of God. Matthew 26:57-68, Mark 14:53-65, Luke 22:54-71. The accusation of blasphemy. When Jesus did not answer Caiaphas's questions, the high priest asked him directly, "Are you the Christ, the Son of the Blessed One?" Jesus answered in the affirmative, prompting Caiaphas to tear his clothes in outrage and accused him of blasphemy, which under Jewish law was a capital offense. Mark 14:61-64. The role in the death sentence. After the religious trial before Caiaphas, the Jewish leaders decided to take Jesus before Pontius Pilate, the Roman governor, to obtain the death sentence. Since the Jews had no authority to carry out death sentences, they needed Roman consent, and it was Caiaphas who, along with the other leaders, participated in handing Jesus over to Pilate for crucifixion. John 18:28-32. Number 2. Caiaphas and prophecy. An interesting part of Caiaphas's story is his prophetic statement, which is mentioned in John 11:49-52. After Jesus raised Lazarus from the dead, many Jews began to follow him, which worried the religious leaders, including Caiaphas. At a meeting of the Sanhedrin, Caiaphas said, "You know nothing, nor do you think that it is better for us that one man should die for the people than that the whole nation should perish." Although Caiaphas was thinking in political terms, John 11:51-52 notes that he did not say this on his own, but as high priest that year he prophesied that Jesus would die for the nation. This verse indicates that Caiaphas was unwittingly fulfilling a divine prophecy about Jesus' death for the salvation of mankind. Number 3. Caiaphas. In political context, collaboration with the Romans. As high priest, Caiaphas was in a privileged position in the Jewish religious system. However, his power also depended on the approval of the Roman authorities, who ruled Judea at the time. His role as high priest was marked by a pragmatic approach, trying to maintain control over the Jewish people and avoiding problems with Rome. Caiaphas's relationship with the Romans allowed him to play his role as religious leader, but also led him to make decisions that sought to eliminate any threat to the established order. The threat of Jesus. In many ways, Caiaphas viewed Jesus as a threat to both the religious and political order. Jesus' popularity and his message about the kingdom of God and the power of the Messiah were in conflict with the religious authority of Caiaphas and other Jewish leaders. Seeing Jesus as a threat to the status quo, meaning current state of affairs, referring to politics, Caiaphas, along with other leaders, decided to eliminate him. Number 4. The death of Caiaphas. The Bible does not directly mention the death of Caiaphas. However, outside historical sources suggest that he was removed from his position as high priest by the Roman governor Vitellius in 36 AD, and his fate is later unknown. As high priest, Caiaphas remained steadfast in his opposition to Jesus. But after the crucifixion, Christianity began to spread, and he no longer held the same power. Number 5. Lessons from the story of Caiaphas. The figure of Caiaphas teaches several important lessons, especially related to power, justice, and opposition to Christ. The corruption of power. Caiaphas used his religious and political power to defend the established system, regardless of the actual justice of his actions. His decision to condemn Jesus demonstrates how power can corrupt judgment and morality, leading to decisions that do not seek the truth, but rather the preservation of power. Unintentional prophecy. Although Caiaphas acted with political intentions, his words and actions served to fulfill a larger prophecy, demonstrating how even evil human intentions can be used by God to fulfill his divine plan, such as Jesus' death for the salvation of the world. Opposition to truth. Caiaphas represents those who oppose the truth when it challenges their interests. Although Jesus claimed to be the Messiah, Caiaphas and other leaders refused to accept him, preferring the status quo rather than embracing divine revelation. Conclusion. Caiaphas is a crucial figure in the accounts of Christ's passion, being the high priest who played a central role in the trial and condemnation of Jesus. Although his actions were motivated by a desire to maintain religious and political power, the story of Caiaphas also reveals how even those who oppose Christ unwittingly contribute to the fulfillment of God's redemptive plan. Praise the God of Israel. Maranatha.